Netflix, Amazon Prime, BritBox, Disney Plus, Now TV, Apple TV, Arrow, Mubi. Now that is a bunch of chief executives right there, lazing back in their Chesterfields, thanking COVID for a massive upturn in fortune. And well, now you can add Shudder to that list. Founded in 2015, Shudder is an exclusively horror-based streaming service, rivalled only by Screambox. It not only hosts arguably some of the world's finest horror movies, it is also responsible for curating and creating its own original content. Furthermore, it has Shudder TV, something that Screambox, to my knowledge, does not have. Well, it wouldn't have Shudder TV, would it? It would have Screambox TV, but it doesn't have that either. And how Shudder TV is unique to the platform is that it has content available to watch 24/7. You can watch Slashix, for example, which is, well, old slasher flicks, and others that offer premium curated content to watch around the clock. However, it's all fine and gory nabbing your own exclusives, but it would be a pretty redundant exercise if all of them were exclusively pap. And so I signed up to Shudder, mainly because I have a Google Nest and a smartphone, and, well, I was talking about it with my girlfriend, and so it infiltrated my feed, and yeah, I got lured in with a free trial, like an attractive Slovakian student in a hostel. And I have spent the last couple of weeks watching as many Shudder originals and exclusives as I possibly could, with the sole purpose of ranking them. And we all do love a good rank. So now I am ready to give you my top 5 as of this day, 2021. Here goes. Number 5. The Mortuary collection. Well, this was a tough one, and it only just edged out Scare Me into the top 5. And the reason for this being, although Scare Me has 2 cracking lead performances, its tone is a little hard to pin down. It just doesn't quite know what it wants to be. It's a little bit of silly send-up fun that also wants to take itself a little seriously. And whilst both of these ambitions are fine, Scare Me doesn't quite manage to land up on either side of the fence for the majority of the movie. It kind of straddles continuously, refusing to decide which side is greener. And from the outset, the Mortuary collection knows exactly what it wants to be. It's an anthology horror. And by definition of the genre, we know that we're in for a fair amount of gore. And an equal measure of stupidity. The difference here than with many other anthology horrors is that we are dealing with a single director, which, as well as helping to level the movie with a consistent vibe, it also allows it to build up in speed and pace to a suitably climactic apex. Save for the first small segment in the cloakroom, every single chapter of the Mortuary collection is thoroughly enjoyable. It pleasantly bounds through the movie tropes of each decade like a non-linear, sarcastic wander visionary. It says hello to The Shining, and can you really pay homage to horror without doing so? It bumps into Scream in the corridors of Shizzle That. It high-fives Trick or Treat and wedges Halloween before embracing The Shape of Water in a full-on erotic smooch. These moments of precise direction by Ryan Spindle are individually subtle enough to show a true love for the genre, whilst being open and honest enough not to treat you like a complete and utter novice. The movie is asking you to dance. It's offering you a seat in the canteen. It's welcoming you into its school of thought. It's frankly not being a complete jerk. Furthermore, the overarching framing story is not being used as a narrative necessity. It's actually rather gripping in itself, and also benefits from a rather difficult to spot little twist, which is always pleasantly satisfying. And the performances are a cut above most movies in this subgenre. Most notably, the extremely welcome Clancy Brown, who commands his Mortuary and indeed the screen with his grandiose frame and stentorian tone, reminiscent of the talents of the universally gifted horror legend Tony Todd. This is bloody. It is funny. It is silly. It's a little bit scary, But all in all, it's a big barrel of thumbs up. Pencil it in for a Friday night. It's not quite Saturday, but it is a movie best enjoyed with a blanket of no worries, a footstool of no deadlines, and a pint glass full of units. Number 4. The Cleansing Hour. Shock horror. Good start. Here is a movie implementing modern social media platforms that doesn't come across like a dad dancing at a warehouse rave. Set mainly in one location, this rather brilliant feature debut by Damien Levesque, based on his own short film of the same name, adds a nice little twist on the classic exorcism horrors of recent and bygone years. Two friends create an extremely successful livestream where in each episode they expel the evil spirits of a possessed victim. Now, of course, it has always been fake. Until today. The Cleansing Hour wastes no time in setting up the premise of the film. The show within the film is suitably corny enough to be absolutely unbelievable and yet scarily realistically believable. And its many avid followers the same. The ambition evident in the on-set special effects and makeup is matched by the execution. It really is quite impressive. The CGI moments are a little more clunky, but not enough to remove you from the story. The constantly scrolling comments, well, that could have been a bit of a distraction, but I found them to be one of the most captivating assets. Upon second viewing, you, like me, might find yourself pausing the movie in order just to read them. They are witty and realistic, in equal parts trolling and cheering. Now, there is a drinking game to be had somewhere there, so if you come up with it, please do let me know. Comments? The performances are stellar. You honestly do believe in this friendship on show. Such is the sincerity and honesty Ryan Guzman and Carl Gallner perform with in the leads. They are both excellent. However, when the demon arrives within Alex Angelis as Lane, she takes centre stage. Her body movements are exceptional. The way she contorts and leers is magnificently creepy. She poetically lets the role possess her, and it's difficult to take your eyes off this marvellously wretched performance. Now, there is a little lag with the cliched Catholic backstory, but it isn't unforgivably overly indulged in. And the final twist? Well, it is once again rewardingly unexpected. This is a damn fine debut, and if it doesn't help to make relative names of all involved, well, I'll eat my prayer cloth. Number 3. Host. It's another debut. Damn. Some people really did make good use of this lockdown, didn't they? This stone-cold awesome slab of present fab movie making could only have been made now. Yeah, sure, we've had movies similar to it before, Unfriended, Searching, but there is an added sense of unease and terror here, as we, the audience, are all experiencing what the protagonists are every single day. Aside from the appearance of truly violent spectres, nothing here is unrealistic, and that is what slices through you like an ice-cold shard of haunting reality. Set entirely on the Zoom platform, this follows a group of friends who decide to conjure up spirits from the great beyond. Damn. Some people get really bored during lockdown, don't they? However, due to some highly irritating yet hugely believable immaturity, it is not Granny and Grandpa Wharton that they manage to summon up. Oh no, it's the mean ones. So obviously, things do not go to plan, as one by one they are annihilated in ferocious and phenomenal fashion. A nice little clever device here is that the movie lasts exactly the length of a Zoom call. Well, unless you're paying for your premium account Zoom. Not only that, but also the credits are scrolled through like contacts in a phone. That was fun. I like things like this. Completely unnecessary, just a little bit geeky. I like to think that someone was really happy when they came up with that idea. And, as well, they should be. I'm happy for them too. However, due to the fact that this movie clocks in at just under an hour, due to the aforementioned gimmick, I find it difficult to place it any higher on this list. I mean, it is a movie. It's just not a full movie. Get what I mean? It's like Saved by the Bell, the movie. It's not a movie. It's a long episode. Well, this is the reverse. It's a show. It's show length. It's not movie length. So, you're number 3. You're very, very, very good, but you're number 3. All right? Number 3. My rules, my judgment. Number 2. Anything for Jackson. Oh man, anything for Jackson. I'm sorry. You were solidly at number 1 until literally yesterday. But at least you made the top 5. Spare a thought for Scare Me, which got completely bumped out. Anything for Jackson is quite frankly one of my favourite horror movies of recent years. Maybe I'm so impressed by it because it came as such a surprise. I had never heard anything about it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about Jackson, let alone anything that anyone was doing for him, and it basically floored me. Whilst, yes, the story is pretty well trodden, more summoning of spirits, more haunted house ghostly goings on, the delivery of it is nothing short of superb. Justin G. Dick, what a name, has produced a slice of horror history here. Julian Richings and Sheila McCarthy are excellent leads as suffering grandparents mourning the loss of their daughter and only grandchild. Konstantina Mantelos is solid here as the unwitting, demon-carrying mother-to-be. And there is a nice little turn by Josh Crados as a softly spoken dark arts aficionado. But whoever's idea it was to hire a contortionist should be reserved the second to most applause. But the rapturous whooping, all the medals and the keys to the city should go to Twisty Troy James himself, who has literally created one of the most memorable monsters in modern cinema. However, the fact is that the beauty of Anything for Jackson is that even if you didn't have old Twisty Troy, you'd still have the Teeth Ghost. And if you didn't have her, you'd still have the Trick or Treat Ghost. And if you didn't have that, you'd still have the Wood Chipper moment. Remove one excellent moment, and there's still another excellent moment beneath it. It's like a pasta parcel of horrific brilliance. And be warned, you'll probably never floss again without a little shiver going down your spine. The fact that this is not top of the list is just testament to how exceptional number 1. The Dark and the Wicked. Well, what to say here? Whilst everyone was banging on about Hereditary with its 3 notable moments, or Midsummer with its 2, or even St. Maud with its 1, Brian Bettino was out there somewhere, quietly plotting one of the horror movies of the millennium. Somewhere out there on a Texas farm, things are getting a little bit squiffy. And to quote Sam Beckett, oh boy. Now you should, at all times, try and squeeze in a reference to Quantum Leap on a daily basis. Sister and brother Louise and Michael return to their parents' farmhouse to see out what appears to be the final days of their bedridden father. But you've got it, all is not as it seems, and it soon becomes apparent that it might not be that their father is losing his life, more that somebody is taking it. Now, on the surface of it, this may seem like a movie you've seen before. Isolated ranch, creepy preacher, weird spirits knocking about the place. But trust me when I say that this movie has unearthed a new way to package these scares. Woven together with the fabric of a masterful performance by Marin Island of Sneaky Pete and the Umbrella Academy fame, this relentlessly bleak gothic horror delivers on its titular promise, serving up fright after fright and asking you to wash it down with mouthfuls of desolation. Michael Abbott Jr. is strong in his role as Michael. However, lurking behind a full beard and baseball cap for most of the movie, he honestly could have been the result of a scientific experiment where they'd mixed up the styles and genes of Tom Hardy, Chris Pratt and my friend's husband Aaron. Now, of course, we shall see how history treats this movie, but watching it now, I think it could be held up against such horror classics as The Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby and The Evil Dead. For me, it sits firmly atop the pile of recent movies in its ilk. You know, your Conjurings, your Sinisters, your Insidiouses. This film by itself is worth a month's subscription to Shudder. The world is a darker place than it exists, and sometimes it's nice to visit the shadows and see what's going on where the sun doesn't reach. And well, what about Shudder in general? Well, yes, of course, with anything there are a few lesser impressive titles on the platform. Apologies to The Room, don't make a sequel. Hunted, you just didn't do it for me. However, in the same breath, there are also some other fairly good offerings. The repeatedly aforementioned Scare Me, Zed, or Z, depending on how you want to pronounce it, is what the Babadook wanted to be. Beach House, which is easily as good as Stephen King's The Mist, on a shoreline. Blood Quantum, which throws yet another zombie representation commentary into the undead folklore. Impetigore, which is not only as wonderfully and daftly named as a Norwegian death metal band, it also offers up some truly impressive creepy moments, and sits high on the list of the best of Indonesian films that I've seen. Oh, and Scare Package. Well, that's just stupid fun. And with Shudder apparently releasing one new movie a week at the moment, this really is a pretty good time to jump on board. Shudder. It's a good name as well. Laters. Mid-credit scene. Thank you very much for popping by. Like, comment and subscribe to the channel. That way you can get all the updates. You can also catch me on the Cool Kids Film Club. They can be found on Facebook under the title Cool Kids Film Club, and on YouTube and on Spotify as well. If you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, general musings, why not catch me on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter? Some people will ask why I did this. Well, simply, she gave me a pen.